good evening, and welcome home. I've been thinking a lot about home this year. 15 months ago, Bruce and I became empty nesters. After dropping off Eden and Tybee at college, we walked back into our Brooklyn home where everything seemed off-kilter and out of place. In that unsettling moment, we looked at each other and realized we needed to reimagine every one of our relationships. Bruce handled this in his Bruce way by starting to research a new book about ritual. As for me, I knew that I not only had to adapt to the girls ending their teens, but to Endeavor hitting its mid-20s. Sure enough, within 24 hours, the texts started streaming in. We know you can travel more freely now. We're hosting an Endeavor milestone. We'll even find a ritual for Bruce. We spent our empty nest flying the coop. Tonight, I'd like to share some postcards from my 2024 travels, the year Endeavor went big and went home. First, since tonight's theme is home, let's play a family game to see who's in the room. It's called Stand Up, Sit Down. Okay, so if this is your first Endeavor Gala, please stand up. Wow. And sit down. Stand if you've been to 5 or more Endeavor Galas. Stay standing if you've been to at least 10. Wow. And sit down. If you flew 10 or more hours to get here, you probably need to stand up. Woohoo! Thank you. And sit down. If you're an Endeavor board member, stand up. And sit down. If you're an Endeavor team member, or if you ever worked at Endeavor, please stand up. And sit down. Stand if you're an Endeavor entrepreneur. All right, and sit down. And finally, if you're representing an Endeavor office that opened this year, that's Portugal, Poland, and our 45th country, Ukraine, please stand up. Woo! Okay, now on to my postcards. First, Nigeria. Traveling around Lagos highlights both the promise and challenges of emerging markets. We were escorted in not one, but 2 pickup trucks, driven by guards with Google Maps and machine guns. One night, the cars pulled into a tucked-away cafe. Inside, a crowd huddled in a modern, colorful atmosphere. Philippe Stark with African meets Latin twist. The cafe's name was Slow, yet the place was hopping. Nigeria epitomizes my motto. When economies turn down, entrepreneurs turn up. Endeavor supports more than 40 founders in Nigeria, nearly all of whom were at the cafe. Lagos has an especially vibrant fintech community. And the fintech founders were in a corner chatting about the new central bank governor who came from Citigroup. Finally, someone in charge who gets the future of finance, an entrepreneur said, handing me a red Chapman cocktail. With Nigeria's population poised to reach 40 million in 2050, access to 400 million. I said, 400 million by 2050. It'll be the 4th largest by then. Access to finance is an urgent topic, as is figuring out how to bank the 20 million Nigerian diaspora who remit money back home. I have someone you should meet, someone said. I turned and saw G.B. Agbula, founder of one of Nigeria's most successful startups, Flutterwave, today valued at $3 billion. This year, GB joined our Nigeria board to mentor the next generation. One of his mentees, Ridwan Olalere, founded a digital bank for the African diaspora. Ridwan should be an Endeavor entrepreneur, he said. To prepare for my trip, I read Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's sweeping novel, Americana, which explores the complexities of being international. Longing to belong in your new home while longing to belong in your homeland. As I told the founders that evening, Endeavor understands this tension, and we can help. In our globalized world, we can reconcile homesickness with homemaking. Next up, Ireland. In September, we held our 100th in-person ISP in Dublin. That's 100 international selection panels. Our host was U2 lead guitarist and Endeavor Ireland board chair, The Edge. I guess I found what I'm looking for, one panelist quipped. The beauty and soul of Dublin blew everyone away, though I was shocked to learn that Ireland's population is just 5.3 million. I grew up in Boston. Isn't everybody Irish? Among our candidates were a number of diaspora founders, including a German in Dubai building the leading ride-hailing food delivery super app in Iraq, a Lebanese oral surgeon, also in the UAE, building a digital marketplace for dentists called Toothpick, and Ridwan from Nigeria, who lives in London. All three passed and are now Endeavor entrepreneurs. Yay. At the feedback dinner held at a whiskey distillery, I went to congratulate the founders. Nursing a pint of Guinness was Ridwan, deep in conversation with Guillaume Poussaz of Checkout.com, who is already coaching him on how to renegotiate his equity. I finally get Endeavor, Ridwan said. I feel like a fool for not joining earlier. To sum up this 100th ISP in one word, hospitality. My good friend Danny Meyer, the iconic New York restaurateur behind Gramercy Tavern and Shake Shack, talks about the power of hospitality. The goal, Danny says, is to make your guests leave feeling better than they did when they arrived. With an Irish pub crawl, a dinner in a cathedral crypt, and an unforgettable tour of the U2 recording studios, Dublin's charm and the Endeavor magic shone. We all left feeling a little better about our world. Finally, London. Immediately after the ISP, I flew to Heathrow for the launch of our first global hub. Opening a hub in London and next year Dubai and Singapore grew out of our recognition that many of our entrepreneurs are moving from their home countries into major cities around the world. Hubs are part of Endeavor's Vision 2035, a roadmap enabling us to select and support entrepreneurs in 100 countries. Our global hubs will open doors for Endeavor entrepreneurs from anywhere in the world to new markets, new connections, new capital opportunities. For our launch in London, hundreds of founders poured into London's famed graffiti tunnel, joined by network members from around the world, including 4 global board members, Edgar Bronfman Jr., Joanna Rees, Veronica Serra, and Guillaume. The risky venue choice of the graffiti tunnel, located deep below Waterloo Station, was the brainchild of our London hub director, Constanza Castro-Fejou. Connie, as she's known, is herself a member of the international diaspora. Born in Buenos Aires, Connie worked for Endeavor Argentina, then Mercado Libre, one of our top Latin American companies. I came to London years ago, Connie told Edgar and me, but I never felt like I belonged. Now that we're building our Endeavor hub, I've truly found my home. At last week's Thanksgiving dinner, I told my extended family how grateful I am to have an extended network whose forward-thinking spirit and always open doors transcend any current-day conflicts. My travels reminded me that wherever I go, wherever anyone in this room goes, Endeavor is there to make us feel at home. Because even though we'll have to wait an entire year for the second half of the Wicked movie, we all know that Glinda, the Good Witch, is right. There's no place like home.